Hey everybody, Nerd Transformed here again, and today I'm reviewing the Power Rangers Megaforce Grand Gosei Megazord. Or no, Gosei Grand Megazord, I'm sorry, had it backwards. The reason I was a little confused is that the Japanese version of this figure is known as the Ground Gosei Mecha. And there is going to be a bit of an update here because I did forget to mention the Gosei Great Megazord did come with cards, and I mentioned that because this set comes with a lot of cards. Gosei Great just comes with this one card here, which says Gosei Great Megazord. It's got all these numbers. I'm not really sure how it works, but I believe it is a card game, but this is also meant to be used with like the morpher and everything, because in the show they use cards to morph and everything. Another thing I forgot to mention is that in the Japanese version of these figures, most of the heads, or the headers since they were known in Japan, can move their mouths. This version cannot. As you can see, the mouth, there is no hinge. None of them have hinges. None of them can move their mouths, unfortunately. And another thing is, here in America, these three were not sold together as the Gosei Grand Megazord. They were sold separately as the Sealion, I believe it was the Sealion cycle, because Sealion and Skylion here, you might notice some molding where they have these little handlebars sticking off of them. And that's because here in America, they were sold as, like, motorcycles, basically. They had little cycle pieces that would attach to the bottom here, where you use the Zord builder port here to attach it in, and they would clip it in up here over this front part here. And then you would come with a little Power Ranger who would sit on top. This one came with a Black Ranger, the Skylion came with a Red Ranger. I have basically thrown those pieces away because they're kind of useless. The little Power Rangers could only move their arms. They were stuck in this like crouched pose in order to fit on the motorcycle. You can even see where their feet would stick out right here. And the motorcycle pieces themselves, you couldn't really do anything with. They were just two wheels attached to the bottom of a Zord. So, kind of a dumb thing to do. I don't really get it why they sold them like that. I guess that way you could play with them as individual sets, but they hardly even advertised the fact that these really did anything what they were supposed to be. And Zord in the Lion Megazord here was sold exactly as he is. He was sold as like a Zord tank, I believe. But for this review, I'm going to be reviewing them all together, and I'm just going to be referring to them as the Gosei Grand Megazord because that's what they're meant to be. So, starting with Sealion here. These have some huge differences compared to the Japanese version. For one, in the Japanese version, this went straight across. It was kind of just a flat piece instead of this like kind of indent he has going on here in order to be like a motorcycle. He's also missing a lot of paint from the Japanese version, like how the platoon here were supposed to be painted in gold. The side wings were a little bit longer. And for another wing thing, the Japanese version didn't have wings on it, while this one does. You can actually fold these out like wings, which is probably left over because most likely, these two use the same mold, just have different wings and heads. For Skylion, it makes sense. He's a flyer. Sealion, not so much. I mean, I guess you could say he's, he's putting his engines out the swim a little better or something, but it is a little weird. But Sealion, pretty simple. Just gold paint on the back here. That's the only part of this whole body that's painted. The header gets the rest of the paint with gold around the mane here, silver for the middle part, some green for the eyes, and a little bit of silver for the fangs. He doesn't really do anything. He doesn't even roll since he was meant to roll with the bike pieces attached. Although the head by itself has some wheels on it. So that can roll if you want, as you can see. So there is that, and I mentioned he's meant to be a motorcycle. You can put a figure on it if you want. I don't remember which one came with which cards, but I want to say these are the Sealion's cards, considering Sealion's more, because both of them come with what's called the Knight Brothers cards. As you can see, but one has Skylion in the front, the other has Sealion in the front. And they seem to have different stats too. One says played, one says battling, so whichever you want to do with that. And then they both come with Gosei Grand cards. So that's pretty cool if you're into the card thing, it gives you some more cards to mess around with if you just want to collect Power Ranger cards. They're kind of cool. Now for the landline, or let's look at Skylion since I don't really talk about him much. He actually does have a different head. He has more of this like kind of rocket head with a different mane too. Like I said, the biggest difference here is going to be their heads. You can see Sealion kind of goes for more of like how a seal or a sea lion would look. While Skylion here, which is a made-up name, kind of looks more like a bullet or like a rocket. He's got some nice silver for the teeth there going all the way across. Silver going up the nose right there. He's also got kind of like this gold mane going around that looks kind of like a drill. And he's got some green for the eyes as well. So overall, pretty decently painted on the heads themselves. I just wish the body got some kind of paint. Maybe some gray right here or something to break up all this red. As I mentioned, you can also put out his wings. He does have a tail fin that's not as prominent as it was in the Japanese version. And he does also get a little bit of gold for the back here. So overall, they're alright interpretations of the Japanese figures, but the Japanese figures are definitely definitely a lot nicer looking. The Land Lion here, though, is one of the biggest difference. For one thing, he comes with 3 cards. One that just says the Lionzord, which I guess he's not Mechazord, I guess he's just the Lionzord, or either that or just the head here is the Lionzord. I'm not sure. He does get another card for Gosei Grand Megazord, and he has one for the combination we'll be going over, Gosei Great Grand Megazord, where he combines with Gosei Great. So we'll be going over all that in a minute, but I did want to show what cards he came with. And yeah, we will be doing all this in one big review, so it's going to be a little bit. But let's look at the Lionzord itself, or the little lion head, and it's the most complicated head there is. It's quite big. I mean, this is practically a small figure, which we'll get into why it is in just a minute. This also, of course, turns into the Megazord head, so, you know, little face stick out the bottom. Oh, I dropped him. But I do like how he looks. He's got this big, wide mane going on here. A lot of nice golden top, green eyes as well, silver. That's why there they go. Like, they all have this like gold mane, green eyed look that kind of all goes together really nicely. He does have a little bit of like a beard hanging down. I wish it had some gold paint to fill that out that I think the Japanese version had, but it looks alright still. And there actually is some silver underneath. And you might notice all these little hinges on all this. That's because this little Lionzord does actually transform. He transforms into the Night Ranger, the Night Brothers Ranger, I think he's called, something, or a Night Lion Ranger. But to transform it, you're going to fold that beard away, come underneath the beard and pull out these little parts that flip around to form the legs, flip the ends up to make the feet, take the beard and just rotate the bottom to form his arms, and finally a little crest in the middle of his head flips up to form the head. And the head's actually really nicely painted considering this is the only time you're going to see it. It's got some gold all the way around, gold for the crest in the middle, and some red for the visor. It actually does make for a pretty decent looking little ranger. As you see, he's just standing right there. I thought, wait, can he ride these guys? Let me see. Nope. Oh, they missed out on the gimmick. Oh, it would have been really cool if he could have actually fit on these and actually ride them. I mean, that would make too much sense, I guess. But nope, the handles are completely wrong shape for his hands, and his feet have no way of really sitting where they're supposed to be. See, if you're doing that motorcycle gimmick, you should have used it with this guy. That would have actually been pretty cool. But there is a different vehicle he can ride. What's left of the Lion tank here can actually transform into a tank. I didn't really mention this, but it does have these little push missiles that are just exactly what you think are. You just push them, and they shoot a missile out. But you can actually flip them around because instead of being a push missile, they work either way, really. So you can actually flip them around to give them missiles pointing forward. Then what you're going to do is take this back piece here, pull it off, and flip it upside down, which exposes more of the paint. And in this piece, you're going to just simply turn around and reconnect it, like so. Now this was not in the Japanese version, I don't think, I can't be sure, but you're going to open up these panels, and normally you just plug in Megazord here, but this version in particular, if we pull off these panels here, you can actually see there's these little handles inside, or these little pieces that flip out. And these actually give handles for the little Night Brother Power Ranger to grab. Come on. Alright, let me just, there we go. And they're on both sides. And I don't think the instructions even mention this either. I think they forgot to mention these in the instructions. It's easier just to pull off the panel and get your finger in there, flip out the handle, and attach the panel again. Oh, if I don't drop it. There we go. Like so. And then you're going to take your Night Brothers figure. You can see there's a little peg on his butt. And it's going to go, or a peg hole in his butt. And there's a peg right there in the center of the console. Oh, and that piece popped off. These tabs are not very strong at all. And what you're going to do is just line it up to where he actually sits perfectly on that peg. And then his hands can actually grab onto his little handles that we pulled out. Just got to line it up and kind of slide them in place. Here, let me set them down so I'll show you after. That way, pegging or sliding, you can also put his feet where these little tab holes are to kind of make it look like he has a place to sit. But you see his hands are actually holding the handles, and you can actually make it look like he's driving the tank. Now, I'll admit this is a rather ridiculous looking tank. I mean, he does have the wheels along the bottom, he has the missiles on the side. You can say this front right here is a little tank, like a little cannon that he'd shoot. But then you have the Zord builder port sticking out from where the legs are going to form, and you also have the hands just sitting right here. Not the best looking tank, but I'll give him credit where it's due. This works alright. I just wish you could ride these as motorcycles. That would make more sense to me. But, you know, that's the gimmick you can do with that little guy. And unpeg him. And I'm going to quickly transform back into the Lionzord just so we can take a better look at the Lion tank as a whole. So, you know, just reconstruct how he was. Attach the head back on there. Pull this piece off, flip it back around. And then flip this piece back around. Oh yeah, and also there's a handle here that you can flip out. That's for a later mode, but you can pretend it's a little gun if you want. And look at the line tank itself. I think this is one of the best looking Zords we've gotten in a while. Oh yeah, don't forget to flip the missiles around again if you want. They're still just little push missiles no matter which way they are. But for the air modes, you are going to want them pointing like that. But you can see there is actually some gold around here. You can actually see even a little bit of gold here to kind of make the main look like it's more expanded. The claws are done up in gold, which is really nice. It's a really nice looking gold too. Not too shiny and not quite chrome, but just enough. Oh, and here's something that we don't get from Transformers. The rims are actually painted on the wheels. Not the inner part, but there's a red circle going around them just to help break up all that black, which is nice. So that does look pretty good. I do like all the details, even if he doesn't have a lot of paint, it does have a lot of cool detail, like the venting here, some of the panel lining going on up here. Along the sides, get like a lot of wiring and little tech details. He does look pretty nice. But now we're going to hop onto the combination, which is pretty simple. For Sealion and Skylion, it's really easy. All you do is grab them, grab the head, and you fold them forward, and that'll make his heel for his Gosei Grand Megazord? Yeah, Gosei Grand Megazord. Same for Skylion, fold in the wings, flip it out, make a foot. Oh, they don't really have good balance on their own. He's going to do most of the transformation. There is some part forming. All you're going to do is grab this piece back here and just remove it. It'll form the chest plate. Take the bottom of the tank treads and remove them like so. Take this whole piece and flip it upward where these gray panels along the back now. Take Sealion, attach as the right leg. Take Skylion, attach as the left leg, like so. Take this piece you pulled off that was a tank turret, and it's just going to attach as the chest plate. The arms don't do any transforming, you're just going to attach them to where you have the missile piece sticking out forward, kind of like where this gray piece is at the front, to form an arm. Same with this one, attach to the air side. And these are all Zord Builder ports, so they can be swapped out with your Zord Builder Megazord. And then for the face, there is a bit of transformation. Flip up that piece to reveal the gold crest. Take what were the Night Robo legs, make them come out. Bring them together to form this giant like spiral cresting. Then take the lion beard, bring it down around the face to kind of give him his like, I don't know what you would call that, big old beard. But there you have Gosei Grand Megazord in its, well, Megazord mode. And he's quite the big fella. I mean, if we're going to bring Gosei Grand, or Gosei Great back in here, not even counting the crest, he's a good head taller than Gosei Great here. It's kind of hard to tell from the angle, but Gosei Great's head touches the top of his like shoulder about right here. You can kind of see from the wing too, because the wing's about the same height as him. So you see the wing, he's actually a good bit taller. Mostly coming from the fact he's made of bigger Zords too. So let's get him out of the way. And let's look at his details. There are a lot of new details in this mode, which is pretty nice. You do see his legs are done up in silver, although they do stop halfway through, which kind of stinks. You can actually see on the side of the arms here, there's this gold circle painted in, which looks really nice, actually. Gives him this very, like, neon look going on, especially with the wheels painted red here. You can see there's some silver for the fist, which looks pretty good, and the fist itself is molded okay, I guess. The chest plate actually looks pretty good with this red trim going around and a lot of nice black, shiny black and a little blue gem in the middle. I just wish the tab holes weren't right here. It just kind of ruins the look, especially since the only thing these tab holes are good for is making that stupid tank mode. And the head itself looks really nice. You got nice, like, sharp, he kind of looks like a... It kind of looks like a walking can opener, honestly. It has that, like, shredder look going on with all the silver spikes up here. Kind of a spiky beard on the side. All these little silver, spikes around the face, a little gold spike crest coming down with a big gold crest up here. And the face itself is actually really small, but he's got some nice paint on as well. He's got some nice little gray around the face to make it look like he's armored. The face itself is this weird powder blue, and he has some red, like nice little red eyes. So yeah, he has actually a really small face, but it makes him look like he's really heavily armored. I mean, he's got about the same size face as Gosei Great there. Articulation-wise, he's exactly what you expect. He's the usual brick. The arms can rotate 360. The legs can technically rotate on the Zord building part, but they can't really do much else. And that's about it. He doesn't have any hand articulation at Gosei Great because he doesn't have headers on his hands. The head really can't turn unless you want to kind of make it look like he's doing one of those. I mean, I guess you could say he's looking behind himself, but yeah. No articulation in the head, I would say. And unfortunately, no weapons. I mean, he does. You could say he has some weapons by taking the missiles and flipping them around like so, and have him like shooting missiles from his arms. So I guess that gives him some use, but yeah, there's not much he can do as far as weapons. But he does look really cool. He does look really cool for a Megazord. I think he's one of the coolest looking Megazords we've got in a long time. Although if you look at the card, which is more based on the Japanese version, you kind of realize just how much paint he's missing. Like, it's supposed to be more gray on the or silver on the chest plate. These are supposed to be done up in black. There's supposed to be some more gray and silver kind of along the legs to kind of help break that all up. But, you know, he still looks alright. Let's see. So, now that we've covered this part, we should get to... And to do that, we're basically going to have to tear him apart. For this combination, you're going to remove the head. You're going to remove the arms. You're going to remove this panel back here. You're going to remove the chest plate. And you're going to remove both of the legs. Just to give you an idea, he's in a pile of parts. Like, literally, you're taking this thing completely apart. And he's not the only one. Gosei great. You're going to remove the head. Remove the sword. Remove his arms. Remove just the heads from the legs. And remove the dragon head. Go ahead and take the wings and pull them down like so. So yeah, when you're getting ready for this combination, you're kind of just stuck with this big pile of parts. But how we're going to do this is take what we're... Oh, we unpegged... this is what kind of one of the problems with the figure I actually have. Gosei Grand, because of how his transformation works here... Oh, wait, I'm going to try to put the pieces back on right. Nope, I am not putting them on right. Okay. So Gosei Grand, kind of similar to how the wings were on Gosei Great, where they were a separate piece on their Zord builder port. It does this too, where he has these panels that are supposed to rotate around, but the Zord builder port holding them in here is actually weaker than the Zord builder port for the arm. So sometimes when you remove the arm, you pull the whole panel off. But yeah, you're supposed to leave that on there. But you're going to take what were the arms, or the, I guess you could say the bottom of the thing for the tank mode. Flip open these panels on both of them. And you're going to make sure these gray parts on the outside, and you're going to actually attach them to the legs of Gosei Great. And there is a little clip right down there that clips onto right there on the feet where you see that little indent is. And you're going to kind of just slide it forward into the... Because there is a little Zord builder or header port inside of the black panel there. Like so. So you give him a bit, make him a bit taller. Then you're going to take this gray panel here, open it up. And there's two tabs on the inside here. There's two tab holes on the back of the hips here. And just attach them like so. Gives him more of an armored look. And you're going to take the entire body of Gosei Grand here. Go ahead and open these panels along the back and flip these completely around, which does kind of stink because you're actually hiding away this gold paint. Make sure the panels are kind of sticking out like that. And there is a header port that's kind of just sticking right in the middle there. And you're just going to attach it to the top of Gosei Grand there. And then you're going to use these panels here to kind of cover up the arm joints of Gosei Great. And it does lock this on pretty solidly. And there goes the wings. Oh, that's a long one. Alright, so then you're going to take Sealion here. Make sure he's straight again like he was in Zord mode. But you're going to take the arm piece, this back port piece, and it actually flips around to put the port to the side to make an arm. And it reveals this port on top that you're going to take the shark and attach it to, like so. And then you're going to take the snake head and attach it to the side of the arm. Then you're going to attach it to the body, like that. And just to show you kind of attachment-wise, you're going to, once you do it Skylion, flip around the Zord builder port like so. Attach that. Take Lion, or not Lion, Tiger, attach it to the side. Take Phoenix, put it on top. Take the Dragon Head, attach it to the front here. And finally, to make the form of the head, you're going to take the Gosei Grand Head, attach it to the back of where his old body was. And all the transformation he's going to do is you're going to split these horns he has to where they're more like that in a V shape. And there you have, let's see, let me make sure I get this name right because it's on the card. Gosei Great Grand Megazord. Which sounds really stupid because in Japan it would have been Ground Gosei Great Megazord or Grand Gosei Great, which sounds a little bit better. Because Gosei Great Grand Megazord sounds kind of stupid. But there you have the combination all together, and the last thing you're going to do is take these three pieces, put the Gosei Great Megazord head back inside where the sword is, and attach it to the top of the chest plate like so. And remember that little handle I showed you earlier, you're going to open that up, and that's going to form his staff. And what you're supposed to do is take the, not Scarab, but the Beetlezord from the Land Brother set and attach it to the top here. And it would go into Sealion's hand. And it would have to be Sealion because Skylion does not have a hand molded in. Also, only Sealion can hold it. And as is, it looks really dumb. It's kind of sad you actually have to get just one piece from their set. Not even a whole nother set, just one piece from their set to complete the look. And you remember how I mentioned back in my Gosei Great Megazord review that there's a reason this mode doesn't work as well without the extra pieces that Dragonzord normally comes with? You can actually see this in the card because if you look at the card, you can actually see the full staff that the Japanese version comes with because it's using the dragon's neck to kind of make it look longer. You can see at the top there the Beetlezord, or the little Zord header you're supposed to use to make it make the complete staff. And even if I did have that piece right here, it would still be a really short staff. I mean, it would still just be sticking out that far. Pretty much, I guess, call this Gosei Great Grand's walking stick, because that's basically all it is. It's just a walking stick for him in this form. And granted, you could take it and have it come through the bottom, like so. But because of how the handle is, it's going to be sticking out like that. So in order for him to hold it, and his sword builder ports with all the extra junk on them are not heavy enough or good enough to hold it up. So he's just stuck with like dragging his sword on the ground. So really, I don't even have him display with this weapon when I have him in this mode. I just stick that to the side and pretend it doesn't exist. I don't think there's a way to attach it here, is there? I mean, I guess you could just attach it to this little clip here. Nah, that's not gonna work. You're just gonna set it to the side somewhere. But yeah, that's the Gosei Great Grand Mega combination. And in Japan, this looks a lot cooler because these arms aren't this skinny. There's a lot more bulk to it. And one of the problems I noticed with all these Zord builder ports, there's a lot of extra room in them. And there's actually, if you actually move the Zord builder parts, the switching arm part all the way down here, it actually makes the arms really loose on him. So if you stop one click up before this swivels all the way down, it keeps him a lot more straight, but it's still really wiggly. I mean, you can see when I go to move the arm, you can actually see the Shark Zord shake a little. You can actually see the whole waist kind of shaking. I mean, if you grab this guy and shake him, he's not going to come apart, but you can see all the pieces shaking all over him, especially on the arms. I mean, there's a lot of free movement stuck in those things. And as far as articulation goes, it's exactly the same as before. You know, the arms can rotate 360, like so. But because they are using heads on the front on the arms now, you could rotate them if you want to count that. A lot more useful for Sealion since he'd be holding the weapon. So you could rotate his head around like that. And if you just gave him just the sword from Gosei Great, you could get him posing just like Gosei Great with the sword. Oh, now it looks a lot more like a dagger. And like I said, this whole thing isn't too useful. He does still have the wings though, although they are sitting kind of low on his back, so when you have them out, it looks a little weird. It does make him look like he's rather huge, but they're a little low on his back to be quite useful. But you know, they do still have all the articulation they had before. They have the hinges here and here. You could fold them away like that if you want to make take up less room. You could have them down like that. I do actually kind of like leave them out because it kind of completes the look for like all three of these like going on. But yeah, oh yeah, he has missiles on his feet too. But overall, this combination's not all that great. Do I recommend Gosei Grand Megazord? Yes, I do think the Gosei Grand Megazord is really nice. I just don't think this overall combination's really nice. It's really not worth for the big Grand Mech combination. If you're going to get it just for the individual ones, Yes, if you're going to go for an individual or the regular Megazord combination, Gosei Grand is really nice. This bigger combination is not so nice. I like the playability. I wish there was more done, or there was more paint, more plastic. I wish the joints weren't so shaky. And honestly, he's really expensive these days. But if you can get him for a good price, like $60, I would recommend him. Just don't get him for this big combination. This has been Nerd Transformed, and I hope you have a good enjoy this review, and I hope you have a great day.